The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
If there was a podcast chart for best intros, we're at number one every week. Music, visuals, we're at number one. Tell me one better. Tell me one better. I'll listen to it. No. There isn't. Kliq this Kevin Ayers podcast. He's Kevin. I'm Sean. Back on another Monday. Most of y'all listen on a Monday. I noticed. You can listen whenever you want.
You know, there was a comment this week that says that you keep talking over the fucking open, and I can't hear you.
I talked a little extra loud today. Maybe.
No, I'm just
I did see it.
I'm pointing out where fucking we're just trying to do whatever we can to make us a more efficient and audio friendly podcast.
Yes, we listen.
Yes, we
listen to you all.
We've come to the conclusion, and Sean and I had an in-depth conversation. That Sean's business plan before coming to podcast world was kayfabe. It was DVD driven, and it was a visually driven medium. And I've been on television. Neither one of us were with CBS in 1930 when they had fucking radio. So we're not radio guys, and we're very understanding that at times, like maybe the slap segment we had last week was probably not really great to listen to with just the smacks and nothing for 4 minutes, or maybe the Buddy Rich. But to me, the Buddy Rich was, that's still fucking some sweet drumming. That's just my opinion.
Absolutely, that functions as an audio file.
But anyway, so we're going to be putting together, not I, but Steve and our crew will be putting together. Wesley and Don, we've put together a package that you'll be able to view on YouTube that will be all the audio snippets that you missed from this wonderful fucking visual.
Yeah. And the way I look at it, like, a lot of people like to read their books on like listen to audiobooks, I should say. And what they do,
I like to read mine propped in the crack of a fucking very fine woman's ass.
I know, but you know what though? It's got to be a short book because the paper is going to take moisture.
Well, if that's the case, then it doesn't matter anyway, because that 11 soft is going to be in action by then. If it's taking moisture,
dude,
might as well be a graphic novel. Just jump to the chase.
I am seeing the best Barnes and Noble commercial right now, just like glory holes in every other aisle.
Books A Million's going to make a comeback.
So what we're going to do, similar to like if you get an audiobook, a lot of times in the description of the audiobook you'll have a link to some PDF files for the pictures in the middle of the book that you wouldn't enjoy just by listening. So we will have reels, shorts that will be dumped on socials and on YouTube every week. So, for example, if we have another Smack Fest where some people are beating the shit out of each other for your edification, you can check out the reel and you'll see the visual. You will have heard the audio on your commute to work, and you can And for the folks that play this at work, I always occasionally we see that comment like, "Oh my God, had to run and lower the computer when a customer walked in and Nash was talking about dropping his dong in the Lake Minnetonka." Imagine someone who plays this though audibly at work. You're asking for it. You gotta go headphones or just wait till you get the fuck home.
Or don't give a fuck.
Well, if you're running the daycare, and you want to listen.
I've also noticed from the comments, it's somehow I've been there's this I like drag queens. Like a couple of people have said something about, I don't know if the summer of '92 is now turned into a drag queen thing or.
I didn't see that. That's and I actually never got that impression from you, Kevin. But I clearly don't know you as well as I thought.
No, I tell you, we were in Little Rock, Arkansas, and there was like I think it used to be a bowling alley, and it was by this Waffle House, and me and Scotty Steiner looked across and was just like, it looked like Roadhouse. Like the gravel parking lot. But I mean, there was fucking no place to park. So we ate our Waffle House and we said, let's go see what the fuck's going on. So we walk in there and it's a drag show. And I had never been to one. And it was so entertaining. And,
some of those guys
they were, some of them were not. I mean, it's like it's like the guys that go on Instagram and you go to the, you'll follow, you might look at some hot girls, whatever, and so then you hit your magnifying glass and it'll just pop up what you've been looking at. So a bunch of hot broads will pop up. And it's like, have you ever seen on Instagram where there'll be a bitch that looks like she's been smoking crack for 3 years? She's got no teeth, got horrible, her skin's horrible, her hair's ratty, and she does the process from A to Z and she usually finishes by putting her teeth in, but she paints herself up, puts the wig on, and does everything, and the girl looks like an 11 when she finishes. It's unbelievable.
Now, were you on Tammy Sitch's account? Where did you catch this?
No, I don't. I mean, come on. There's only so much modern science can do. But gosh, that's got to be rough, right? You're in for life, right?
Is that the sentence? I mean, it
doesn't seem like somebody that's going to make parole and come out and stay out. So
no, I think any hope of rehabilitation is over. There's only one way to know if you're dealing with a real woman. Now, you say you could pull the pants down, but people get operations now to make things look different. A man's ring finger is larger than the pointer finger. Okay, so look at your hands, palm first. So your ring finger is larger than your pointer finger. A woman's is either smaller or the same size.
I'm the same.
Go to your other. You probably lost the tip of your finger in a basketball game or something, or when you were in the Yakuza. Look at the other hand. Is it really the same?
Yeah.
A woman's will be the same or smaller. I would venture to guess yours is slightly larger, and you just can't.
I do have a fucking Adam's apple though. If I have to, I'll stand up and juggle my balls.
We're good. We're good.
I'll juggle my balls because ain't no way fucking nobody but G.O.D. made them motherfucking gorgeous motherfuckers.
G.O.D. couldn't get you to fucking Lafayette this week, could he? For an appearance.
Man. I swear to God, if I don't have fucking some of the worst travel luck, so go to Pensacola, everything's fine. So I'm supposed to go to Lafayette, Louisiana. I meet the people from Lafayette at Pensacola, sweetheart people, and I mean, Dallas, Paige, and I, we had a nitro there, and Dallas and I took off. We got there early, and we took off, and we found like a place like down by like some bayou that sold crayfish and fucking buckets of beer, and we got fucking wasted and came back to nitro, and that's my my memory when I hear of Lafayette is me and Paige getting fucked up and still working and having a good time. I think we worked against each other in a tag. I think that's why we did it. But so it's bike week, so I know I'm going to have to swim fucking upstream against the salmon. So there's 500,000 bikers. It's Friday. It's actually Thursday. Is it Thursday or Friday? It's Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have a 6:36 flight. So I get there an hour. I mean, it takes me a good about 45 minutes to do like a 20-minute drive. And I get there, check my bags, get on the plane. It's 7 o'clock, and I'm like, fuck. And the conference tournament games are on for basketball for NCAA, so I'm watching those, and I get all of a sudden the TV cuts off because once you actually like get ready to leave, that shit doesn't work. So we sit there again. Now I'm looking, and we're supposed to land at 8:26. I have a 9:05. Connection out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so I go ahead and I get on my app and I look, and it says, plane is delayed. These are your options. And I look, and the only option that has first class the next day is at 6 a.m., which makes me basically have to get up at like 3:30. Which means I ain't going to bed.
Right, of course.
So by the time I got my bags and got home, it was it was like 10 o'clock. I mean, and I was, when you're angry, it's just like.
And what was the quote? Weather?
So it was weather. It's like for people that travel, it's such an annoyance when fucking somebody just sits there and lies. It's so she starts off. She goes, well, due to weather, I immediately go to radars. I look at what's going on where we are. I look at where Atlanta is. There's nothing that would prevent us, because you can, so it shows the front coming in. There's green. There's no yellow, red, orange, nothing. There's nothing weather-wise that would prevent this fucking plane from leaving.
You have access to the radars while you're sitting in the plane. Watching you navigate the computers like watching Early Man with a rock, but you've got radars up on your phone.
Dude, I'm fucking, hey, when it comes to traveling and catching you in a lie, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I got everything. I'm wired into the pilot's fucking mic. So then we finally pull back, and they shut the plane up, and they sit down. They put their seatbelts on. The flight attendants sit down, and we back up and we sit there for fucking 20 minutes. Now it's really looking bad. I'm thinking like, ooh, fuck. I said, I've done this flight best time 54 minutes, and that's fucking late at night. That's like leaving Atlanta at 11 and coming home. There's nothing. And people that fly a lot, like there's a thing, I think it's called the Craig's Gate, and it's at the border of Florida, and all planes have to go through this Craig's Gate because Jacksonville has that Naval Air Station, and they have airspace there. So you can't, when you fly through the Florida, it's like there's like an area, and you'll see fucking, in the daytime, you'll see all these flights staggered, then you'll see them fucking, when they get through that Craig's Gate, they'll fucking, if they're going to Miami, they'll go left. If they're going to Tampa, Orlando, they'll go right. But they've all got to go through this spot. So that's what happens is that thing gets clogged up, with just fucking, because just inadequacies of fucking, and I'm sure it's the acting FAA supervisor's fucking job. But
who's Craig, first of all? And why does he get a gate?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking it was Craig Elo that fucking Jordan hit that shot on. They're just giving him some fucking love. But so then people, now it's to the point where people are getting up and getting in their briefcases because they're like, well, fuck this. I'm going to get my phone. I'm going to do something else. And she goes, could you please sit down? We're in the process of getting the paperwork. I'm like, bitch, we're 100 yards from the fucking gate. Who you giving paperwork to? The motherfucker next to you? Ain't nobody fucking giving paperwork to nobody. Like, fuck you. That's your second fucking lie.
Are you moving?
No, we're sitting fucking still.
And you can't stand while you're not moving?
The guy in one fucking C, bulkhead, never sit there, bulkhead has got to piss. He gets up, matter of fact, this is exactly how he looks at her, like, this isn't a problem, right? I can get up and piss. She's like, no, you need to sit down.
For the paperwork, so they can do the paperwork.
I guess.
Were they doing it in the bathroom?
No, no. I guess it was just hold your piss, you gladiator.
Well,
I just was. And then the fucking pilot comes on. He says, "Well, I've got a engine light on here, so this is a mechanical, and we've contacted blah 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 blah." Then he comes out, opens the door, and walks out. I'm sitting in 2B. Or not to be. And he stands there, and I looked at him, and before he could fucking open his dick sucker, I said, sir, I said, at this point, I'm considering myself a hostage on Delta Airlines. And he looks at me, I said, no, I'm serious. I said, if we have to go to Atlanta at this point, I'm going to have to stay at the Holiday Inn Limited in the hood, and it's like, that ain't happening. So either, like, I don't give a fuck if it's a ladder. Just let me get off this motherfucker. I've already checked my flights. I'm not reboarding tomorrow. This is a punt. And so he looks at me and goes, so next thing you know, they've got another engine light. They pull the fucking plane back up and fucking they deboard the entire plane. Everybody's asked to get off the plane. But they tell you, because TSA has already left, because we're at a 6-gate airport that only runs 2 planes, TSA has already left, that if you leave the controlled area, you will not be able to return. So now you've got 135 people standing around this one fucking red coat, and it's amazing. There's the guy that's next in line. That's the best feeling on earth. If you're not the first guy in line, being next is the best thing, because there's that little bit of anticipation, but you know what? I'm next. This is the guy that's 135th is standing at the back of a line like he's at fucking Walt Disney World. There's 250 fucking empty seats. I just wanted to go back there and tell those people, you can't sit the fuck down and do this 10 people at a time, because this plane isn't going fucking anywhere. It's going to take forever to get our bags off, because they weren't expecting to fucking take bags off a plane. So there's one motherfucker that's going to be taking bags off. And
when you used to work in the ring, what would happen if, I mean, if you're fucking main eventing a pay-per-view or TV.
No, you were on a 6 o'clock flight every day. If you flew, you were on fucking at 5:35. There were so many times we'd leave the bar in Boston and go sleep at the gate. Because we weren't dropping fucking $3 bills, to get 3 hours of sleep. We'd sleep in front of the exit door.
Not in 1994. That was your whole draw.
Yeah, right. We'd sleep in front of the fucking the gate door. So if they were going to let somebody on the plane, they'd have to open the door, and we'd be laying there. You'd have to wake us up. So we'd
hit Scott in the head with the door.
Yeah. Hey, you guys want to get up? Fuck. That was the story back in the day when I first got, I ran into Snook, and you see Snook in the morning, it'd be dark out, but Snook would have his fucking shades on. You'd be like, man, what the fuck's with Snook, man? Why's he got shades on? Fuck, man, you leave the bar and that fucking sun's out. It's like, fuck them shades. Me and Scott fucking used to live in those fucking shades. It'd be like, if my phone would ring and be like, hey, man, we got to catch the shuttle. I'd be like, before I even brush my teeth, okay. Like, fuck. And then my eyebrows fell off. But,
You and Pac.
Yeah.
So you didn't get to Lafayette last week. It's a shame. So folks out there, you'll see Kev
again,
on the...
Again, I disappoint. So this weekend's Kansas City. So I look at the temperatures in Kansas City. It's fucking... I mean, it's cold here today, but it's not like bitter cold. Like I went to the gym with a fucking sleeveless shirt on.
What's Kansas City this week?
Fucking, it's like this weekend's like 43 and 18. It's like, fuck. That's the coldest weather I'll have been in for like a year because I haven't left since September. So I've just been down. I've just been down here in Florida. It's just like, holy fuck.
You had some cold spells there this winter, though.
Yeah, but
ridiculous.
I mean, it's like a day.
Right.
Like not 18s.
Right.
I mean, I watch the news. I think I'm watching that fucking horrible end of time or end of days, whatever that fucking Schwarzenegger movie was. With the fucking the snow and the floods over on this side and this and fucking,
Definitely, Earth is definitely in a battle.
Yeah, you know what though? For the people in the Northeast, I mean, it's been a long time since a lot of those people got fucking 12 inches. Boom!
We've been snowless, if that's the 12 inches you're referring to.
Whatever you want to call it.
Feedback from last week. Those of you enjoyed the show like Fingers MC. Love the show and love that it starts off my Monday mornings from England. But that misconception section was the best thing from any episode, in my opinion. Nice one, lads. All right, Fingers. Travis N. Singh. Has anybody...
No, I was going to say, I thought it was very pompous of me to... clarify any misconceptions.
Well, that was my idea to do that because...
No, that was one of the fucking comments I read that it was...
Oh, somebody said that you were pompous for doing an episode on yourself. The fucking show's called The Kevin Nash Podcast.
And then if the person went on to say I was the worst drawing WWF champion, WWE, which is not true, and that the other company I worked for closed down, and Eddie Guerrero had it right when he said that Kevin Nash is just pure evil.
Like that horror movie you did.
Yeah, no,
that classic.
That was fucking Kane. Oh yeah, I could have fucking. That's right. He played Diesel, so maybe it was me. Maybe it was, and maybe it was.
Travis N. Singh, has anybody's family members ever called them a drug addict because they smoke weed, but they sit there and they build on coffee and sugar all day and then have diabetes? I think I know what he's saying. And
well, it's like if you've ever been to an AA, like a large... I remember one time we were in Detroit. Actually, we were in Troy, Michigan. We were staying at the Marriott on Big Beaver. Great name for a road. We're staying on
And a prom date.
Yeah, Marriott on Big Beaver, which has a shoeless steakhouse, which is nice. And there was a huge Alcoholics Anonymous, an AA thing going on, and this is when they were really fucking buckling down on that smoking inside shit. So they had like a almost like a roped off area in front of the underneath the canopy or whatever you want to call it from the from the elements where you would come in and pull up your car and check in and shit. You couldn't smoke in that area. You had to be on the sides of that. But every motherfucker in that AA was pounding fucking. They had these giant green things that were full of coffee. Everybody had a cup of coffee and a cigarette standing outside. I'm just like, so you're giving up alcohol for nicotine and caffeine.
Well, that was kind of the thing, right? They would allow, as long as you weren't taking what your problem was, then they loaded up those meetings with
just deal with your fucking
cigarettes
and deal with your lung cancer when it fucking hits you. But
it's a slower process than the smack or whatever you're.
What was the guy? What was the guy's name?
Brian Dennehy.
No, he's Joe Jackson. He had that song, "Everything Gives You Cancer, Nicotine."
Oh, of Joe Jackson of like Steppin' Out fame?
Yeah.
Steppin' Out. That's a great cut.
Into the light. I went and saw him at Pine Knob outside Detroit, and me and my brother Mark went and saw him. And a guy like 4 rows back gets up during his set and has to probably go piss, I would imagine. And he just stops playing and he fucking gets on the mic and goes, "Really? I can fucking wait?"
No shit.
And I was just like, whoa, Joe Jackson, you're a cock slave.
That is fucked.
Joe's show, right?
Yeah, that's it. I think it might have meant shoeless Joe Jackson, too, of baseball fame.
Yeah, but that was Ray Liotta. How about the Oscars not having fucking my boy Tom Sizemore in the memorial fucking section?
It must have been cut. It must have been edited already and packaged.
I don't give a fuck.
I know they should have got
That's Sizemore, man. Anne Hesh, she wasn't fucking. She died halfway through the year. She didn't get. I mean, I don't get it. Like 80% of those motherfuckers are like. And I'm not saying that they're not important to the industry, but they're not mainstream. And Wesley says no Leslie Jordan.
Oh.
I guess if you ever had contact with me, you didn't get a fucking nod. Because I've had such a death-filled fucking year, you just if you die in my fucking wheelhouse, they can't bring it up because Will Smith might hit you. I don't know.
I wasn't going to go into it, but I was reading the next day some of the bullshit that they were giving Jamie Lee Curtis. Because we still have a segment of society that feels that they are the authority on who. First of all, you can't give awards for art. This is number one. This has to stop. This all has to stop. There's no best anything in art. I can tell you who the best fucking basketball team is in 3 weeks. I can tell you who the best football team is every February. There's numbers to do that for us. There's no best unless you want to reward box office. There are numbers for that. But there's no best. There's no best. So don't sit there and say that because Jamie Lee Curtis, I heard one theory that she was on screen for less time than the girl in that movie, which, Jesus Christ, I sat through that movie. Don't even start me on that. You can't do this, and then it becomes a race thing. And who was up? Who was the one with
Angela Bassett?
She's a wonderful actor.
But it's really hard. It's really.
But you can't sit there and say one is more meritorious than the other. Then you start throwing color around. Give me a fucking break, right? It's gone too far. The pendulum swung too far. It's got to come back a little. It's got to come back.
Yeah, just. everything. It's to me, it's like a bodybuilding contest. Like, it's just absolutely subjective. Like there's criteria, but
I know. I agree.
The criteria still has to be differentiated between the fucking people that are using the criteria. You could read the criteria and have a completely different conception of what we're looking for than I would.
Absolutely. So even if you have criteria, it's too subjective, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
You cannot do this.
It's like, I think what they should probably do is just fucking get rid of all those fucking shows.
I agree. It is put on by the American Motion Picture Association. It's just a big commercial for all these movies. People think there's merit to it. Won an Oscar. It's an advertisement for a bunch of movies to drive people to the theater in January and February.
Yeah, the motherfuckers don't even send out fucking burners or anything anymore. They used to, if you were in SAG, you used to get a fucking shitload of stuff.
I got shit, I got 4 or 5
nothing.
DVDs every day.
I got nothing.
They give codes now and shit, but
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's, let me go ahead and get on my fucking 3x2 fucking Samsung and rifle through a couple of motion pictures. Boy, this is so cinematic. Fucking asshole.
Wes the One says, love the podcast. If he didn't book the finger poke, then who did? And surely Kevin Hogan could have said no to the idea if they thought it was bad for business.
And I actually answered this guy on our site and told him that obviously you need to go back and watch the fucking episode on Hogan's contract, because Hogan did have the creative control. And if you look at the way it was pay structured, in retrospect, when I read this contract, which I was not aware of until we did the episode on it, that he wouldn't have got the payday he would have had it just been Nash and Goldberg.
Because of the building.
That 33,000 people sitting in that building was fucking, or whatever it was. I think it was 190, but it just seemed like a lot to me.
To have our podcast network's accountants on the case.
But then again, I was the champion and a fucking drawing one at that. So I mean,
so when you're there, Hogan. All right, so WCW 4-5 o'clock. That's when you lock a show down, right? You don't know the day before what's happening on Nitro, right?
No.
So
I think that you know what? None of us can remember anything. Eric can't remember Dick. I can't remember Dick. Fucking Hulk can't remember Dick. Scott probably, who could remember, it's past. And we'll get to that later, since it's been a year since we lost my partner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know what happened, but I know that Hulk had worked his way somehow in that main event. And at that point, now what are we supposed to do? If we're going to turn on Bill, would we go out and punch each other in the face for 9 minutes first?
And Hogan had to be on the card, right?
Yeah, so it's like he's coming loose and he's coming after Hogan. He's not necessarily coming after me. So if I don't do the finger poke, then I'm a babyface. And I'm wrestling Hogan. So he comes. So Goldberg gets loose, gets into the Georgia Dome, hits the ring, and now he hammers Hogan. And as soon as he hammers Hogan, it's a DQ. And I still have the strap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what they wanted.
Right.
So that's why Jamie Lee Curtis won. See, that's it right there. Because it's just the Academy Awards, and it's just fucking sports entertainment, guys.
Right.
No curveballs were thrown or hit in this segment.
Love somebody to do the fucking flat back up there at the Academy Awards at Mann's Chinese Theater.
Fucking Chris Rock fucking worked fucking super strong Japanese style last year. Fuck.
Super strong style. Waltman's popping for the reference.
You come, you chop me. I no sell. I used to love that when you go over to work in Japan and be like this, like, hey man, right there, I get you in the corner, do all my shit. Oh no, I know my shit. My knees, my elbows, just I'll put you in the fucking corner. I understand. All right, how about this? You come off the rope, hit me with a fucking clothesline. Yeah. Give me a leg screw, yeah? Fucking, I'll charge you. Give me fuck you. You understand me, motherfucker.
English got better as you gave them offense.
As I'm putting them over.
Joe Malone. I always thought in the intro, Kev was doing a drive-by chop. I didn't realize it was a homoerotic kidnapping. Once again, Joe Malone getting on the bandwagon, folks, analyzing
I watched it today with that thought, and it's the furthest from that.
Who are we to step on someone's
fantasy?
Yeah.
Well, you are kind of in a cruising pose against that post.
Some people, if you analyze, if you want to get everything everywhere all at once about it.
I didn't see a bandana coming out of your back pocket. Like, if you'd had a yellow bandana coming out of your left pocket and I knew that I was going to piss on you, then...
I think Wesley's firing up Carell Draw right now. A little yellow flapper on my back there. Brian McNeil. Sean, I'm sorry to say, but Chris Rock doesn't waste a moment. Couldn't be more incorrect. Chris literally says everything twice, every sentence. A lot of things 3 or 4 times. He makes 20 minutes worth of material an hour long by saying everything multiple times. Watch the special, not exact. Well, I did see it, and I did make note that he does repeat some stuff. Repeating stuff every once in a while. I don't think it took a 20-minute gimmick and made it 60.
You have to, because fucking just on this show alone, we say it one time and people come back and it's like they hear whatever the fuck they want to hear.
Yeah, exactly. I'll repeat that for you, Brian. Exactly.
So she's...
Where are we here?
Cut you off.
Radical Edward. I wanted to read this one, Kevin. We're a very we're very accepting of all people here.
So I got a question. Does this pass for my urine so it's not so dark this time?
No, that's not urine, is it?
Yeah, that's my urine.
Well, you had a lot of water today, then.
Oh God, man!
There was no protein going on today, bro.
I had fucking shit. I opened the day with 75 grams of protein, 2 cups of oats, and a banana. That was my opening volley.
Well, it's a very clear sample today, Mr. Nair.
No, I stopped this. It's just 21 days without alcohol. Like my system's in shock. This is like Magic Mike piss. When I did Magic Mike, I didn't drink for a couple of months.
Now you drank wine for enjoyment. You genuinely like wine. I don't think you drank to get fucked up. I
absolutely love the taste.
Right. So now
I won't drink a fucking a glass of wine that if it hits my palate and it's fucking shit, I won't drink it. I won't drink 90% of the airlines fucking red wine, so I'll take a sip, I'll be like, fuck this.
But isn't there, now you're depriving yourself of a joy. Is there no middle ground where you could enjoy one glass of wine? You don't have to drink 2 bottles.
I gotta go get my colon checked. It's like that time of the, I missed it during. I'm like 18, 19 months off my colon check, so it's just like I'm thinking like. I know alcohol isn't like probably the most like. And the only red meat I really eat is grass-fed, unless I go out to eat and they don't have grass-fed.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I eat pretty damn clean and take pretty good care of myself, but it's just like knowing that you're going to get your colon checked that's I just love the colon guard. You're going to shit in a box, send it to them, and you got an 8% chance whether it comes back false negative or false positive.
Is it 8%?
It's 8%. Fuck that. It's like when they would do those PET scans of my heart, and they put the nuclear dye in my heart to check, because my dad died so early, and fucking they would get to my diaphragm, like the early ones, and the they couldn't read through my diaphragm because it was so thick. And like that's like this much of the bottom of my heart where your rear descending artery is, which is a fucking that's the most common blockage place, and the guy going, you're probably fine. No, fuck that. Take a scope up my fucking leg and look at my heart. That way, if there is a blockage, you can fucking fix it. Like I don't play the odds on fucking,
When's the colonoscopy?
I actually went today because my buddy is my doc's son, John, and we put our bracket. We did our brackets together today. That's like a thing we've been doing for years. He and I do our brackets together. So we did that today, and then Doc wanted to talk to me because my feces has been a little off in color. So he said he wants me to get a bunch of, because he said your colon isn't going to change. He said, but you might just be so fucking, your system might be so cleaned out, and you cut your carbs back that it just,
Did it resemble the art behind you at all? Maybe the coloration.
I wish it looked like that fucking, that I wish it was dark, but it's not. It's
Wesley wants you to shit in the bottle and show the audience.
All right. Well, that's
right. Well, while he does that, Radical Edward said, I want to shed some light as a trans person regarding the pronoun segment. As someone from Chicago, I totally grew up with everyone being a guy, and it was gender neutral. This is when, by the way, anyone who didn't listen, please go back and listen to the reruns, like you do for all the other fucking shows. And we were talking about the phrase guys, like, hey guys, come on guys. And is it appropriate to use that if there are women in the group that you're saying, come on guys, I'm waiting, or whatever? So radical,
but it was brought under because the Sierra Club said it wasn't proper,
right? And it should be replaced with y'all. So Radical Edward is saying he doesn't want to make anyone uncomfortable, even if it's not the same connotation for me. It's a pain in the ass, but the mild inconvenience makes my loved one so much more affirmed. With that said, I also feel weird about y'all being the go-to for neutrality. Kayfabe Dad has a point that we can probably do better with. Who's Kayfabe Dad? Are you, me or you? Kayfabe Dad has a point that we can probably do better with a different inclusive word. It's also a running joke in the community that fucker is gender neutral. Kev, what do you think of that? Come on, fuckers, let's go.
I think I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Yins. You know, that Pittsburghian Yins. Yins need to get in here and have some fucking spackle.
Kayfabe Dad was last week's person that wrote the comment, by the way, I guess. So anyway, he said things are getting really scary in regards to anti-trans legislation, so it's good to have conversations about respectful community terminology, but also other internal perspectives about how we can be more inclusive and not sound like Cracker Barrel breakfast. All right, well, I'm glad you appreciated that, Radical. We're all working through it.
And they took fucking Uncle Herschel's breakfast off the fucking menu.
What was that consisting of?
It was chicken tenders, hash brown casserole, couple of eggs. It was the and there may be some sourdough toast, or you could get a biscuit.
God, I loved their French toast. Was so goddamn good.
Oh, they got those blackberry pancakes.
Oh, I haven't had those.
And they have real maple syrup. Like, if it's a cheat day and there's and there was one of those on the road. Scott every time we'd fucking eat garbage, Scott would say, "Fuck it, we're working like dogs. Our body needs it."
That's right. Good for him. I like that philosophy.
Yeah.
How about the chicken and chicken and dumplings? Oh, the chicken and dumplings are tremendous.
You know, my son loved their chicken tenders, and my wife found out that the marination is just like Italian salad dressing. And they
marinate the chicken in that, and then they fry it.
Yeah, and they fry it, and that gives it that
tremendous. Oh, I'm salivating over here, for God's sake.
Oh, I'm fucking starving.
Kevin, 2 days on the 22nd, we'll be doing another live audience. So those of you listening on Monday the 20th, on the 22nd, we'll be taping at 7 o'clock. Come join us for the live action. I was intrigued by this article about WWE being available for wagering now. And Colorado and Michigan were the states that WWE has held discussions with about betting on scripted match results. This to me seems like a recipe for disaster.
I mean, if you can fucking bet on the fucking coin toss at the Super Bowl, fuck.
But nobody knows the coin toss. But no one has decided what the coin toss is before. Someone has decided the results of all these matches prior. Can you bet on anything else in the world that's predetermined?
Yeah, but how easy would it be to fucking get involved with fucking Vegas and change the finish and say you were injured and fucking have all the money?
See, some motherfuckers are going to think like this. So, all right. So, betting on the Academy Awards is apparently legal. So, what they're saying is because there's an accounting firm, I don't know who does the Oscars, but Ernst & Young.
Okay, so that explains the fucking Jamie Lee Curtis. The fucking money was on Angela Bassett.
Exactly.
They just fucking Buster Douglas our ass.
Exactly. Saw where the odds were going.
You couldn't get you couldn't place money on Tyson.
So they're saying that Ernst & Young, WWE would be working with Ernst & Young to secure the match results so they won't leak to the public. So they're securing the physical writing of the match results, I guess. But there's people in creative that have just decided this.
Not only that, you got to tell the talents they got to physically and mentally put the fucking finish together.
Well, they're saying, WWE Creative says that they don't plan to inform wrestlers about results until hours before a match. But I think hours before the match is still enough time to call your buddy.
I guess maybe
get on
maybe they
DraftKings.
The only thing they could do is not take a bet after 4 p.m. day of, and then that way if they gave the finishes out at 4:30,
it's already locked.
It's locked. And that's off the top of my head. I think that's brilliant, and that's exactly what they should do, and that's the end of that discussion.
So you'd be wagering on WrestleMania, I take it.
Fuck no.
You wouldn't trust this system to put money on one of the matches,
dude. I'm starting to wonder if fucking footballs will work.
Some weeks I wonder the same thing. So all right, so if you were to put money on WrestleMania 39, by the way, is upcoming.
Sweet.
And some matches have been announced. think we have Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, right?
Yep.
Okay, so there are some odds already?
This is...
No, that was Brock Lesnar.
That was an old one.
SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Raw Women's Championship.
So let's do that.
Oh, you want to do that? Okay, you want to wager?
Let's do Rhea Charlotte.
So Roman and Cody, who's going over?
Roman.
Okay. Now, because you're friends with Paul, this is in any way influencing. Is him hearing your opinion in any way going to influence the company's plans for the results of WrestleMania? I hope so.
If he hears me say Roman, then fucking he'll make sure Cody.
You put it on Cody.
I look like an asshole.
Charlotte and Rhea.
Charlotte and Rhea.
Charlotte, the heavy favorite.
Yeah. I don't know though, man. I think they've really pushed Rhea to that almost a spot above the female kind of that tweener, that China spot. You know?
Right.
Like she's.
But you see what we're looking at here, those of you listening, we're looking at the odds. Rhea Ripley at a negative 400, Charlotte at a plus 250. Now, booking this and seeing that, you already know crowd sentiment. So you know how impactful it would be based on the odds. Right. You know how impactful it would be to have the other person win, or what a letdown it would be if the heavy favorite goes over. I think this is going to change the.
What was the Roman Reigns Cody?
It was closer. Roman and Cody. It was minus 175 plus 120 so Roman's the favorite.
Roman's been a champion for what 850 fucking years, or it's like he's been around.
Actually, no. Cody.
It's the other way.
Favorite.
Cody. Roman's been the champion longer than Noah lived, right? Didn't Noah live to be like fucking 300 years or some shit?
Yeah. So you think Roman's going to retain?
You know what? At this point, I don't give a fuck.
No, obviously, but
no, I mean, I would
have a vested interest, but
I would like to see. I mean, I would 926 days. And we're how many days out are we from Mania? Another 20? 21?
Yeah.
So he's going to be the champion for like 250 or 950 days.
I love that. I love long title reigns. I hate this shit where someone's a champion 17 times in 2 years.
That's how it was forever. I think that's one of the things that stabilized that company. I don't know. I think it never hurts to have a babyface go over, especially that's going to be the last match on Sunday night. To have Cody go over to give the WrestleMania moment, to fucking let everybody leave that fucking big ass arena, and that's watching it very, very happy, and then fucking give him give him a 2, 3, 4 month run so he can sell some merch. And then fucking beat him because there's always the money's always in the babyface chasing. I mean that's just been proven.
What do you think of the 2-night WrestleMania stuff?
It's like porn on your fucking phone. It's just it just is now.
It's heaven. It just is.
It just is. It's
just there.
Fuck. It's. I mean, if I moved all that shit into fucking whatever the SoCal, SoFi, whatever, fuck the name of that brand, I call it the Rams. I don't even give the Chargers fucking half the fucking field. It's just the Rams place. If I moved all my shit there, I'd want to keep it more than one day. Because the Staples Center's like in the middle of downtown. They'll have probably NXT and Raw and all they'll run out of Staples Center.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But from a viewer's perspective, you're talking as a worker, but from a viewer's perspective, is the impact of WrestleMania still significant if it's
I think because
8 hours over 2 nights?
I think because it's not a buy rate anymore. Like you're not paying $79.99 for the one day, so it's streaming and it's content. And we all know when we went over the YouTube numbers of what the WWE does, that it's just more. It's more content.
Even our numbers.
No.
Let's break this show over 2 nights. Let's do the WrestleMania format.
Okay, well, we should be wrapping here in about 5 minutes. Good show, man. Thanks.
Brock versus Omos.
I like the visual when they fucking were nose up, and Lesnar definitely fucking make that big fucker. Like Lesnar's that guy. Lesnar's he is not a mark.
He's a minus 500 to Omos's plus 300. What do you think?
I think the big guy goes over.
Okay.
Nothing. Fucking Brock's like fucking Scott. He's bulletproof.
Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. Seth at a minus 150. Logan Paul at a plus 110.
I think Logan Paul goes over. He hasn't got a win yet. He got knocked the fuck out, so his boxing shit's fucked up. So he can't
make it work.
Can't take too many fucking losses.
Austin Theory and John Cena.
I don't think it hurts Seth. Austin Theory.
Austin at minus 333. Currently the champion.
Again, I after listening to Cena's promo, basically saying if you lose, you're fucking finished here. I can't see them pushing that psychology and pushing that sentiment towards the fan base that they did 2 weeks ago, and then following it through with Cena beating him.
Cena at a plus 200.
Yeah.
What else is confirmed? What other matches are confirmed here? What do we have?
Edge.
Oh, the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah,
that's right.
Hell in the Cell.
Finn Balor at a minus 175. Edge at plus 125.
I'm actually going to have an over-under on that of will they stay in the fucking cell as should happen, because that's the reason for a Hell in a Cell or a topped cage match, is that the aggressor Finn Balor, who they the other three wiener dogged Monday, now is in the cell, and Edge gets to beat his chest and get the fucking victory. So
you're with the numbers here. Edge going over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or fucking, some shit and the door gets pulled off by a fucking John Deere tractor and they wiener dog him again and bust him open and,
Raw Women's Championship match.
I think Bianca wins.
Bianca Belair. Minus 1. They're both at the minus 110 and minus 125. I think draw is the way to go on this one.
I think Bianca's. It's not time to beat her.
Understood. Now,
my opinion.
That's the only one people want.
Absolutely, Trish and Lita got to go over, or there's turmoil between that team and the other guys go. I see Trish and Lita and Becky going over.
Damage Control at a plus 100. Becky, Lita, and Trish at minus 150.
God, that's like that top brackets. There's you got two Hall of Famers in there. But I mean, if you want to fucking make, you can definitely beat Becky. and fucking put a rocket up this up your heel faction's ass.
Right. Could happen.
Yeah.
So you'll be watching WrestleMania. Clearly, you're not watching AEW anymore because I was looking at the news and I saw that you have a blood oath with Steve Austin. But
actually tonight I taped the show. I taped Dynamite tonight because they got like a stacked show.
And to prove everybody wrong, I think there's a bit of a contrarian in you.
Actually, I'm just watching Jade.
Yeah, there's the headline that was carried. Carried a quote from the show.
This will be available for viewing on our
it says, quote, "I just want to go on record today. I have not watched AEW in months." It goes back to Steve Austin. Steve Austin and I got a pact that he's not watching it, therefore I'm not watching it. And what I can tell by Twitter is Undertaker's now not watching it. Kevin said comically on the air.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's just like it's almost like the reference of since like that made Taker not watch, like he was watching it before that. Like I just can't see Mark fucking watching a whole lot of wrestling.
Well, if that didn't make enough sense for you, the pro-life crowd in South Carolina and Texas.
Oh, this is
illustrating their respect for life by wanting to execute women who get abortions.
Yes. And you're talking about an ideology for pro-life. This is, so take a fetus that couldn't live outside the mother and have the mother's choice that not to have the pregnancy. Maybe she's raped, God forbid, because you're just supposed to suck it up, I guess, rub some dirt on it if you get raped and you get impregnated. And it's not like fucking every girl that I've ever met in my life has been raped in her life. It's like it's not a very common thing at all. Jesus.
So under those circumstances,
but then go ahead and just basically, I guess you get fucking a pair of kings, just double down, right?
It's just
split the kings.
Pro-life as a term was the irony here, of course, right?
It's pro-life. If you actually it's like, you just have to peel back the corner of pro-life, and it says you can read clear as day anti-woman. So,
well, anti-fetus after it's born too, because they want no social programs, no preschool. It's just when it's in there that it's.
Well, that's the George Carlin bit. That's fucking to be protected.
Amazing. Well, he's right. If he said that, it's absolutely correct.
If you ever get a chance to watch that Carlin bit on pro-life and that whole abortion thing, it's beyond spot on and like fucking 79.
He was like a prophet. I mean, it was comedy, but it was so socially entwined with,
and it was so cerebral.
Shit that was going. Yeah, he was great. One of the greats.
You didn't really listen to him as much as you absorbed him. It's like fucking the old Absorbing Jr. that had the fucking ball in the fucking gimmick, and you pull it out and rub it on your fucking injuries. Mom, could you put the Absorbing Jr. on my neck? It's sore. I slept funny. While you're at it, can you get the mentholatum? Good old days.
The stiff one of the week, we're gonna be talking a little college basketball over the next few weeks. It is March Madness, so the Bobby Knight guy was like a prophet for Indiana for how many years? How many years was Bobby Knight?
I don't know. I'll say 27, 28, 29, 30, I don't know.
As ubiquitous as the school itself when it came to championships. This is a covert recording done in the locker room at halftime.
I wonder how they got this, because it wasn't like it was a cell phone around.
No, I know, which is this courtesy of our listener Miles Blankenship suggested this, and I said, you know what, damn it, we're talking basketball, let's do this. Here's Bobby Knight at halftime. I'm guessing they were losing.
I had the fucking privilege to have this fucking prick in my fucking...
In your house, right?
In my 10 by 12 living room with my mom sitting there.
It was a pretty quick discussion from what I remember you said.
Yeah. That fucking hair's gotta go. Yeah, go suck a dick.
All right, it's halftime. Let's go, Bobby.
Want to play, then I'm getting the fuck out of here. I mean, if you're not going to recover Greg Graham, if you're just going to let him drive by you, if the rest of you are going to let him catch the ball outside the 3-second lane and drive all the way in here without one guy challenging him, then I'm leaving and you fucking guys will run till you can't even suffer. Now, I'm tired of this shit. I'm sick and fucking tired of an 8-10 record. I'm fucking tired of losing to Purdue. I'm not here to fuck around this week. Now, you may be, but I'm not. Now, I'm going to fucking guarantee you that if we don't play up there Monday night, you aren't going to believe the next 4 fucking days. Now, I am not here to get my ass beat on Monday. Now, you better fucking understand that right now. This is absolute fucking bullshit. Now, I'll fucking run your ass right into the ground. I mean, I'll fucking run you. You'll think last night was a fucking picnic. I had to sit around for a fucking year with an 8-10 record in this fucking league. And I mean, you will not put me in that fucking position again. Or you will goddamn pay for it like you can't fucking believe. Now, you better get your head out of your ass.
So
I guess 8 and 10 wasn't a place that Bobby Knight wanted to be during the season.
It sounds like it, right?
That's back. Obviously, that must have been when it was actually the Big Ten with fucking Indiana and 9 other teams. You know, so you would have 18 league games.
He's talking about having them run until they die. What was the when you were in Tennessee? What was the go-to punishment if coach wanted to go a little hard on you guys?
Oh, they just run the dog fucking. You know what kills me? Because it doesn't. This kills me because it doesn't, because when they run you and they are running you and they say, well, I'm going to run you to death. No, you're not. I won't fucking die. My body will fucking will give out, and I'll be laying on you motherfuckers will be putting me in an ambulance before I die. Like, no, I'm not. You're not going to run me to death. So if you can't do that, how about this? Fuck you. I'm going to fucking jog. You know what? Don't play me. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, you were that guy, huh?
Yeah, but you know what? Once one of the other fucking guys looks over and goes, yeah, well, it's like the picket line. Fuck, we'll all strike. We'll all fucking say, fuck this dick.
Would you run bleachers, or would you have you go like line to line? Like
we had it like the old Stokely Athletic Centers where I played at Tennessee, but it had risers. So and they were fucking big. Like it was like each step was a riser. So if you had to run to the top and back, it was nothing, man. It was just. And fuck, you're a Division I college basketball player, man. You got a 6-pack. You're drinking fucking one every fucking night. I mean, you're fucking. I mean, you could fucking play a game, go out, party all night, fuck some broad till 5, 6 in the morning, roll out, go get your ankles taped at 8:30. Empty stomach, fucking worst case scenario, throw up in the fucking wastebasket behind the hoop while you're running sprints. Shit's gonna be over by noon. You get fucking dressed. We play on Friday. Go to the fucking football game on Saturday. Get fucking hammered there.
Was homework or studying in there anywhere whatsoever?
You had during the season. You had 2 hours. If practice, I think by practice would be 3:30, and we usually went like 2.5. So it'd be like 6. And then they wouldn't let you lift free weights back then. So I used to go to the Nautilus room, and I'd do a Nautilus workout.
Why the restriction on free weights? That you might drop one on your legs?
No, because you would get too muscular and you'd lose your shooting touch. And I think I shot like 48% from the free throw line.
I was going to say, what were you from the stripe? Bro?
Yeah, I was really worried about losing my fucking touch.
You and Chris Dudley.
Yeah, fuck that. My job was to fucking hold Kevin McHale's shorts to the point where he wanted to swing a punch at me.
Was there any way to defend those arms, man, when he started like snaking around you?
Yeah, don't leave you're not gonna. The guy's fucking standing reach was 11 feet. It's not like why are you leaving your feet to block it? I've never seen anybody block Kevin McHale's shot. Maybe Jabbar, I don't know, but it's like fuck. It's like just stay put. Push him 6 feet out from where he's comfortable. That's all you can do. Take a 53% shooter by the end of the night. Have him be a 47. You've done your job.
Well, it is tournament time, as we've been hinting at. It is March Madness. And, after a year of Florida Man and Jersey Guy segments, I thought that that this tournament is what should happen here. Over the next few weeks, we will get down to find out who is the national champion of debauchery. March Sadness, maybe we should call it. What is the most pathetic story we've read out of Florida or New Jersey? So we have to. You know what? We have a special guest here to read the rules at least, so we can get this all down and see how we're going to do this tournament. Our good friend Dick Vitale is here with us. And hey, baby, it's time for Jersey Guy and Florida Man. Here's how this is going to work, okay? We got 2 divisions. We have the Florida division, which is loaded with 8 competitors. And then we got the Jersey Guy, baby, loaded with 8 competitors as well, okay? They're going to square off. Tonight we're going to do these first 8 games, okay? So we're going to know who's advancing, baby, in Florida. We're going to know who's advancing in Jersey, okay? And then in subsequent weeks, we're going to have everybody square off, and there's going to be one sad motherfucker that's going to be at the top of this bracket, baby. So let's get busy with this Florida Man versus Jersey Guy.
Prime time, baby!
Here we go. All right, thank you, Dick.
Prime time player.
Don't get to say thank you. I did get to interview Dick at one point in the 90s.
I spent my senior year with him.
Wonderful guy. And an interesting career. I wanted to go to Detroit. My mom wouldn't let me. You told me. Yeah.
My girlfriend in high school, her name was Bernie Jacobs. And my mom said, you're gonna get her pregnant. She'll be out of school. You'll be out there. You'll be running the fucking streets of Detroit like a thug. And I said, please let me go to Detroit. I want to go to Detroit. A guy named Mike Bunker. And we used to have 0 hour. It was an hour class before school started. Only the basketball players could take it. It was basically basketball practice from the first day of school on. Just illegal as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time the Thanksgiving tournament came around, we were fucking razor sharp. We'd fucking drill teams.
So you have Mom to thank for the trip to Tennessee, huh? Yeah. So let's get this bracket. So here's how this is going to happen, guys. They
didn't like me down there. I think the term they used was evil.
Kane. So the bracket, let's do the Florida bracket first. And what we're going to do is there's, of course, 2 of us hosting the show. And then we've got 3 behind the scenes. We've got Steve and Wesley and Dom. So we do have an odd number here. So we will have somebody advancing for each game. So those of you listening at home, I will read the story to refresh anyone's memory if you're playing along at home. So the first game is the number 1 and number 8 seeds, squaring off, of course. And the number 1 was the headline is face-eating attack lasted 18 agonizing minutes. And this was out of Miami. A grisly assault on a homeless man whose face was eaten by a deranged assailant lasted for 18 agonizing minutes and was captured on nearby surveillance cameras. Rudy Eugene, who authorities suspect may have been high on a dangerous new street drug known as bath salts, okay?
Could have been worse. It could have been your ass.
Yeah, I mean, and after imagine 18 minutes being down there.
Eat your ass for 18 minutes.
Licking the copper penny for 18 minutes. And then the number 8 that he is squaring off against is man drinks bleach in courtroom after being found guilty of armed robbery. And I'm not sure what that what his intention was.
This is a 1 seed versus an 8. It's not even. It's just there's no reason to even go into the bleach drinking. The face eaters fucking moving on.
That would be my vote as well, Kevin. Let's see what we have. Okay, so it's the 3, Wes, Stephen. So let's move him down onto the bracket there, the number 1 seed. The 18-minute face-eating advances, obviously. I mean, for God's sakes. The second game of the night here. Sister, this is the number 4 versus the number 5. Sister stabs her... Sister is stabbed. Let me get this. Woman stabs sister with EpiPen because she's, quote, allergic to drunks, police say. Squaring off against the number 5. Man arrested after buying meth and asking cops to test its authenticity.
Okay, that's see, it's like that 8-9, 8-9 in the fucking tournament bracket that you got.
Could go either way.
But the committee picks the 8. The fucking bookies always pick the 9. This is like the 4-5. I picked the 5.
I'm picking the 5 too, and this is unanimous, I think, through everybody here. So yes, our friend who asked. Let's give him some credit in case he's listening here. For God's sakes, this is Mr. Thomas Eugene Colucci of Spring Hill.
Nicely played. Like hitting your fucking putter off the 17th at the Players last weekend. Oh fuck! Yeah, I can't believe I ended up in the water.
So let's see who's. Let's scroll down on the bracket here. We need to get our next competitors. This is, and we're in the Florida division. If anyone's just joining us, we are in the Florida division here for our.
They
March
better not
Madness.
just be fucking joining us.
What's that?
They better not just be joining us. Like, we want that fucking full run.
Absolutely, but sometimes someone's finger might hit the slide button by accident, or maybe they slid down exclusively to see the tournament. The number 3 seed was the man dressed in bull costume attempts to burn down house with ragu sauce. So much going on there. And then,
I remember
where do you find a
these.
bull onesie, for God's sake?
I remember all these. I mean, this is fucking 6 by. I mean, the kid they actually got shot. I mean,
the number 6, man takes 10-year-old son on a paintball drive-by, and the child is injured by real return gunfire.
And then the other fucker's the guy that isn't he in the number 2? Isn't he in the nativity scene fucking a dog?
We will get to him. He is the next contest. But how about here? Who's advancing? The man in the bull onesie trying to set fire to a house with ragu? Yeah, I agree. I think the man who takes his kid out for the paintball drive-by, which I guess needs some explanation anyway, and then he's dealing with someone firing a real gun at the car with his child in it.
You teach your kid to do heroin like me.
Man arrested after having public sex with a dog and damaging a church nativity scene.
This is I remember the fucking we gotta have the graphic on the robbing GameStop in plastic, because that was the which really set that apart.
Yes, he is the number 7. Burglar wears clear plastic bag overhead as he robs GameStop. There he is, obstructed by nothing but the clear plastic bag over his face.
I mean, fucking a dog in a nativity has a lot of just, we got to give it doggy style on Christmas.
See, my thinking is like number 7, the number 7 seed, the robbing the game. He's just a monumental asshole.
Yeah, he's just stupid. He's like the guy with the meth. But this fucking, railing a dog in a nativity scene.
Absolutely.
That's not by accident.
No, you're planning that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the dog wasn't in the nativity scene that he was plowing. He brought the dog there. I mean, it's...
No, he would have been fucking a camel in a nativity scene. It's like a fucking... That's the Indiana...
I would have requested video of that.
That's the Indiana 32-0 run in 76.
All right, so Florida is complete. The Florida bracket, I think we're all agreeing, right, that it is the...
yes.
It is the nativity scene. First round is always kind of easy, right? You know, even in the NCAA. So now over to the Jersey division. We need to choose our 4 winners over there.
We're gonna do the Jersey one too.
Well, just first round on each in each division. Next week will be the second round.
This is not funny.
This is what we have to do. The tournament has to happen.
Why? Why? It's not funny. We gotta move this along.
You don't think the Toddler Fight Club, the daycare workers charged with running a toddler fight club, and the 20?
I can read it. I remember the bit. Fuck, the guy tried to get a refund when he didn't get the
paid a hitman in Bitcoin
and tried to get a refund. That's not as good as the Toddler Fight Club.
I agree with you. I think the Toddler Fight Club has to move on. We can read
these. We don't have to fucking go into give them too much. This is first round. These motherfuckers.
So they advance. The number 4 seed now squaring off with the number 5. DUI suspect tells police his dog was driving.
Yeah, that beats. I mean, just with your hazard lights on. That's the guy with the bag on his head.
Well, the second story is teens were caught dumping a murder victim in the woods after leaving the hazard lights on.
Yeah, and I think that's New Jersey, so that's like that's like Wednesday.
So the dog driving advances.
Okay.
And
see what I did here? I've just fucking sped this process up to these early round.
You're gonna see someone's gonna write in and say this is their favorite segment of the week.
Yeah. If you fucking pay somebody, they will. But at this point, I feel people running.
Would love someone to get paid involved with this show.
Yeah, nice.
Number 3, 2 men who stole a rock band's equipment, posted it on eBay. And the number 6 seed, man brings 32 bags of weed into the courtroom.
Just bringing 32 bags of weed, just having 32 bags of weed puts you over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Unanimous, too, with the crew. So, yes, 32 bags of weed advances. And then the final game.
Doctor comes on patient. That's going to be hard to fucking beat.
The number 2 seed in Jersey was doctor who ejaculated on patient gets 2 years in prison. And the number 7 seed was a shoplifting duo attempted to steal $370 worth of condoms and energy drinks for a night of action. Yeah, any doctor who's putting a load on his patients.
Did you see that thing? It was on Netflix where that guy worked at a fertility place in like Indianapolis.
Yes, and he impregnated half the state.
Yeah, like when they did people's like we're doing those ancestry meet, and they were like people were coming up like fucking like 2 houses down and shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I did see that. It was somewhat terrifying. All right, so we're set for next week. We have our games set for Florida. 2 games in Florida, 2 in New Jersey for the 2 divisions, and we will see. We will see what happens. The bracket is filling. The bracket is filling. Something that gets me almost as excited.
I just got to say that was fucking fun.
It was amusing. What, another 14 minutes on WrestleMania, for God's sakes?
Oh, no. Jesus Christ.
Hell in a Cell.
That must have, maybe that looked good on paper or something. I don't know.
Well, you let us know. The audience is our boss, so we'll see.
Wesley puts down. Wesley on the side fucking comment says nobody shits on
his own show like Kevin. Fucking believable.
Oh no! Fuck! God damn, man!
It could have been eaten.
Yeah, that ass for 18 minutes. I got kind of a cool thing going. Because the daylight savings, I started the show with the windows open. I put the hurricane shutter up, and now it's like I feel like I'm in like New York City. I can watch, like I'm looking across, and there's somebody like watching TV and
looking into the other windows on the development there.
And the building 6 next to mine.
Is anyone wagering in those buildings on the top 8 Florida man, New Jersey guy stories?
No, but there is somebody fucking that wasn't earlier is now hanging from his fucking 5th story balcony.
People steering into traffic on the Monday morning commute. Listen, there's something to isolate for the Instagram stories for next week. By the way, Dom, I'm sure you're on the case already. It was a bit of a week, Kev. It was a bit of a week. I actually was really surprised when I saw in the news that it had been a year since Scott passed.
Yeah.
I was talking to you. We were making plans to launched this show last year at this time, and I didn't know Scott was in a bad way. I don't think a lot of people did. He was hospitalized, and I was talking to you about like kind of getting your band back together for the first episode. And you were like, dude, and you told me the whole Scott thing, and it was a short time after that, and so a lot of things were on my mind when I saw that. It was the how time had flown, and just revisiting the unfortunate year that last year was. And we certainly don't have to go through all that, but I did have some Scott stuff I wanted to talk about, if that's okay, to honor your partner.
Sure.
And
I talked to Cody. Yes, I talked. It was because this is airing much later. This is the day after Scott passed, and so I talked to Cody, and it was we both said the same thing. It's just like everybody's like, "Wow, it's been a year," and we're like, "Yeah, it feels like 3 weeks." Like it's so strange when the person's so much a part of your life. It's just, but there's not a day that I don't think about Scott. It's just not. And and if I wanted to, I couldn't, because something's going to come up on social media that's going to link a picture of he and I, or, even something in my photos that'll come up that was a past photo of him and I doing something. Mm-hmm. So, it's just, I spent 30 fucking years of my life with that guy.
Yeah. He, how old was he when he passed?
He was 63.
Okay. Okay, so you guys are the same age, basically, right?
Because he would have been 60, or maybe it was 64.
Let me see. Born in 58,
He's 58.
1958. So
Yeah, he's a year. Yeah, it's like I would catch him and then he would pass me in October.
Mm-hmm. So, a younger man, and when he
Yeah, but fuck, my kid was 26, man.
Oh no, of course, no. I
God, I would have loved it fucking time.
No comparison there.
My kid would have made it to fucking 64 years old. Fuck, I'd be long gone.
You'd have been 127, Kevin. You would have been.
So
I wanted to. What I meant by a younger man was, did you think that the end was imminent when he went into the hospital? Did you?
No, because
did you feel it was this severe?
No, he'd been through that fucking. He'd been through so many trials and tribulations.
Right, that was another element of it, that he was like Jason Voorhees. You can't take Scott Hall out.
Scott was a tough motherfucker.
Yeah.
Scott was also highly, highly religious.
Was he really?
Yes. He said grace before every meal.
I don't know why I'm so surprised by that, but I am.
No, he was brought up Catholic.
Right.
I mean, I know that they had communion. I mean, his mother's very religious. His mother Pat stays in contact with me, and then of course Cassidy put 4 roses on Scott's headstone.
I saw that today. That was incredible.
Yeah, for the remaining Kliqsters. And it could be 3, with Hunter as close as he got, and we're getting old, man.
And get your colon checked out, for fuck's sake.
I'm going.
All right.
I mean, fuck it's I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna shit in a box and fucking, hey, Yahtzee. Like for your first fucking time you roll fucking on Yahtzee, I'm gonna take my chance. No, motherfucker, you don't take your chance on the first roll. Just take your fucking 2s.
God, I was hoping that there'd be like a camera that can see through your body by the time I hit 50, and I always hear about something's going to advance. I'm not going to have to do that.
And they've already you say when you hit 50, it's now bumped up to 45.
45 if there's a history, I thought, or maybe I just made that up so I didn't have to go for the list.
Or if your doctor wants to just reach up your ass,
get a little better acquainted with you. But back to Scott. What was his best quality in it? Because he was the guy that had it all, right? I mean, I think universally agreed. Great worker in the ring, entertaining on the mic, smart like hell. Could put the match together, could put a finish together. Knew it was good for his angles. If you were working with Scott, if you were married to Scott, you knew you were gonna have a good run. What of those things was his superpower? Was it the psychology?
I think his passion.
Right.
I think he was so. I read a tweet that somebody retweeted, and it was from Dwayne from The Rock, and they showed a clip of, and this is when I think Dwayne posted this when Scott first passed, and it was a match that they had when we came back, and he told Scott how he had emulated and watched tapes and loved his crispness and how everything he did there was no wasted motion. And I saw a couple things like our Dom wrote a beautiful piece about Scott. that she shared with me last night, and I read it. And it was just like he was saying, like, if you were honored enough to be paintbrushed by Scott Hall, because nobody else fucking did. Like nobody, there was only one Scott Hall. He had that James Dean cool to him. It wasn't forced. He was just that motherfucker. I always thought he was more Sean Connery myself. He had that kind of said he wasn't British. He was fucking just.
Something I learned about Scott from you guys, working with Sean Waltman on something I'm doing now, and just talking to you, that people outside wrestling probably don't know. He cared so much about not just like getting himself over, but like he cared about wrestlers. Like
always, I remember when we had a Nitro, and like they just basically told Scott to go out and beat Jericho, and Scott fucking said, all right, and then Scott went out there and put Chris over.
That's what I mean. Like,
and it was just like, and I know Chris, I know Chris remembers that because, but a lot of people are so caught up in doing the process, where the process was second nature to Scott. So while everybody else is out there thinking what the first spot is, Scott's watching Jericho lean into the crowd, and the crowd just reach over and grab him like he's the lead singer from NXS Hutchinson, And Scott sees that, and he's like, "Nah, man, like." I'll give them what they find. I'll give the fucking people what they want. Fuck if the people in creative can't see it, maybe they just need to look through my lens. And he would fucking, he would do that. He would let people see it through the eyes of Scott. And most of the people that worked with Scott, like you've got your sushi story and a little light. But when it came down to it, I mean, it was just he had a heart of gold. I never saw that dude ever go by a homeless dude or somebody in need and not give him money. Never, just not did not happen. And Sean Waltman and I were having this conversation yesterday, and we were talking, and you brought to my attention where that. Behind the, what's it called?
The series?
The series.
Dark Side of the Ring?
Yeah, it's the Dark Side of the Ring. So they want to do something. And they want to involve me. And they want to involve Sean Waltman. Cody's going to be involved. And you and I had this conversation yesterday. The thing that we want to do is... we just did the misconceptions of Kevin Nash as an episode, but just tell people who Scott really fucking was. And I just don't think that the A&E perspective is ever going to cover the post-traumatic stress of Scott and the shooting that happened at the Dollhouse on Orange Avenue. Mm-hmm. It just will never, and there's a reason why so many of our warriors come back from combat, and they take their lives because they've taken a life. And Scott's thing was always, because he was so highly religious, that Scott would say, "But you don't understand, man. I'm not going to go to heaven. Like I've broken one of the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Like I've killed. I'm not going to go to heaven. My soul will be in limbo." I'm like, "No, man. It's not how it works. It's you can ask for forgiveness of your sins. If you're going to play the game, you can't read half the box. You can't read half the box top. You got to read the whole fucking thing." But that was one thing that Scott would always say, is when he was in the ring, he would say like he couldn't wait he'd love to work. And There were days that I would leave I'd leave my energy. I love to work out, so I'd train fucking back or legs or something like that, and I wouldn't have much left for the ring that night. And Scott would be like, "That's fucking bullshit, man." But Scott would always say that in that ring, I'm in charge of fucking everything. He says, outside the ring, he says, I'm not in charge of anything. That's when I lose the reins of my life, when I go outside those ropes. Wow. In these ropes, I'm a maestro. And he knew it.
Right. He loved the business. One of my favorite stories Waltman just told me was, Sean was talking about, like, you guys would get in the car sometimes, and Scott would be like, all right, guys, no fucking wrestling talk. Let's put the fucking radio on and just fucking have a beer and just fucking hang out enough. And Sean said within 2 minutes, Scott was bringing up the business again.
Yeah.
Nobody else did, but Scott in 2 minutes brought, you know, some shit tonight that went on that I didn't tell you guys about.
Yeah, or fucking, I was watching your match, man. And that fucking opening spike, you know, why would you? I'm just curious, like right off the bat, he's kicking you in the face. And it doesn't make much sense. Scott, we're not talking. Yeah, but I can. Oh, okay. Okay, Oracle.
That's the stuff that, you know, when you hear Scott Hall's name, because we're in a headline-driven world right now, we have people fit into very easy categories. Oh, this guy's the hero, this guy's the fuck up, this guy's the drunk, this guy's the whatever. So the first things you hear associated with Scott, when it, not from workers, if you talk to wrestlers and they're going to tell you their personal stories with Scott, but media coverage of wrestling by non-wrestlers is the demons, right? Of course, like that's the first thing out there, the demons. And then you got to dig a couple of levels to get to, you know, one of the best workers of that period. You have to dig through all that stuff first. Wouldn't it be nice if it was the other way around, that you got to one of the best workers of the 90s and had to dig a little deeper to find out he was an alcoholic?
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny because, you know, one thing that Scott was really adamant about was just, you know, like up until the end, was he just would not watch AEW. Just fucking refused. And I'd be like, dude, it's really not that bad. He's like, I can't watch it.
Well, that's only because he had a pact with the Undertaker. He probably would have tuned in.
So then I'll have to tweet. Huge.
The pressure's on.
Yeah, it's
Scott contacted you and told you to watch this week.
I'm waiting for the Godfather, like Ron Simmons. I'm waiting for these guys to just because I know the fucking Godfather ain't watching AEW wrestling.
I don't know, man.
I
think Charles has another run in him, actually.
I don't see fucking Papa doing it, man. Not if Taker's not. Him and Taker were fucking. That's the soul maker, soul taker.
I wasn't around Scott to have enough good stories. I did the one show with him. Actually, I did an impromptu show when he showed up during the Iron Sheik roast. I wasn't fond of Scott that night. But subsequently, when we did a planned show, it was fine. But my one other...
But Scott wasn't wrong on that night.
Well, we don't have to debate that now. Wasn't wrong to show up on a platform, before the Owen joke, he was destroying the vibe of the show.
All right, but
so the Owen joke is one thing, but
yeah, I'm just saying though that Scott was very protective of the business. I think that with him being fucked up, and if somebody, especially if he looked up there and saw that it wasn't people that
it was a comic. It was a comic that said it.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It's not a worker, so it's like you.
Yeah, but anyway.
Well,
I'm going to tell you I don't want to don't want to badmouth Scott. It was a bad night for Scott before the Owen thing.
But you're going to talk about Owen, where he fucking was over in Germany. You don't know, so it's just I want to make sure that you understand that Scott and Owen spent a lot of time together, living in Germany and wrestling for Otto, and their wives lived in fucking these little trailers with them, and they went caravanning from town to town, and Owen and him were like brothers, and they just
I understand. That I understand.
So it
was the shenanigans prior to that joke.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
That frustrated me that night as a producer of a large event. Anyway, my favorite.
So you had fucking. You didn't tell me you had money in the fucking game.
Yeah, it was our show. It was our show.
Well, fuck, I didn't know that.
A very funny thing, though, to further cement
not that money matters.
To further cement what I've said about to be a good producer, you generally have to be a bad human being. As Scott has this guy pinned against the wall and security is up there pulling everyone away, I can be seen on the camera running up to the stage with a release in my hand so that Scott can sign it before he gets arrested. Just how the mind works. So, but no, my favorite Scott moment was I had to drive to South Jersey somewhere, to some shore town, to rescue you from some godforsaken event they were keeping you too long there for. And Scott was also there, and I think he was signing beside you. You guys were set up next to each other. And you had called me, and you were a little upset with the accommodation, so I ran down. I was concerned getting you out.
I wouldn't have been able to make it to your...
No, I know.
It was like... It was also the fact that you were going to get fucked.
Right. No, I appreciate that.
No, they were fucking me, and then they were going to fuck you, so I
came in, and I went to you.
For it.
I went to you first, obviously, because I had to say, Kev, I got it taken care of. Oh, but I guess I walked by Scott, and he goes, whoa. He goes, you go to him, you don't say hi or anything to me? Like, you don't have to talk to me, but, like, not a hi? Kev, I got you a car? I was like, dude. I'm sorry, Scott. It was great. He was a figure that is always going to be mentioned, in not just because he was in the Kliq. I mean, you guys have cemented your position as a group together in the business, but Scott would have stood alone, with or without the Kliq, and I think he's one of those guys you would have been talking about forever.
Dean Martin would have done fine without the Rat Pack.
That's a great. Unfortunately, he gets the Dean example with the glass, but we'll call him Sammy. Sammy would have been fine without the rest of the boys. Do you do anything? Not to be too personal, but like, do you believe in, like, do you pray? Do you talk to Scott?
I talk to him.
Yeah.
I just talk to him, I talk to my son, I talk to Scott.
Mm-hmm. Is it therapeutic for you, or do you think that there's even maybe that 1 in 1,000 chance that...
No, I just think that I'm so interesting that I'm making their day.
Well, clearly, Kevin feels that about everyone. But is there a 1 in 1,000 shot that Scott can hear you?
I think it's more than that.
The odds are lower than that.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think that. Yeah. So let me tell you this one. So I don't know if anybody saw, but I posted on Instagram a picture of me in high school shooting a jump shot.
Yes, I did see that, actually.
So it was March Madness was coming around, and somebody had went online and opened, that's a picture out of my senior year yearbook. And somebody had taken that, and they took like the varsity basketball. It's too bad there's one of me dunking. That was kind of sweet, but they took took that one and they sent it, and it said that somebody was trying to, when I opened the email, that picture was there. So I fucking opened it up, swiped it, screenshot it, put it in the gallery, trimmed it, and put it and said, "Fuck it, I'll put it on Instagram." So, and it's a lot of people are saying like, "That's a really funky looking shot." It's fucking because I'm a 6'11", fucking 211-pound kid. It looks a lot like Reggie Miller's fucking jump shot to me.
Yeah, he had that long extension with the pop at the end.
Look at this. I mean, those.
You're a lefty. I forgot that.
Yeah, my hand. Look at this. I mean, fuck, man. Look at my hands. You wonder why I couldn't shoot? I got Shaq hands. And no Manscaped was going.
No, you're full bush under the arm.
So I can't get that motherfucking thing to download. And then finally, Tamara and I go out, and there's a little local restaurant that has fresh fish every day, a local catch. So we went there. It's called Millie's. My buddy Chris owns it. If you're ever down in Daytona Beach Shores, go to Millie's.
Is that the one? It's like one long room.
No, this is a small.
No, okay, I was in
It's a small. It's got a little outdoor area. It's.
Is that the one by the bridge?
No.
Okay.
This is on.
Just gonna keep guessing.
It's on A1A. So we come back, and my wife walked upstairs and she called me, and I'm still sleeping in T's room. And I wouldn't even know how to turn his TV on because it's all run through his PlayStation and all this other shit. So she goes, "Kevin, come up here." So I'm like, all right. And I walk into the room, and there's that picture that you just showed on T's TV screen.
Get the fuck out of here. How did you not tell me this?
In the middle, because we didn't have the conversation of fucking crossing over or anything, so we are having that conversation. So now this is brought to mind, because shit happens all the time in our house. So it's like, but this was one of those things where I was just like, what the fuck? So I go over, I can't get the fucking thing off. I can't get it to go away. I don't know where it's at, but I do realize now that it's there, it's on my fucking phone, that it's downloaded on Instagram. So when I tried to fucking download it downstairs, he fucking hijacked it and put it up on his TV. Just to fuck with me. So I know it's up there, so I go back downstairs, and I was catching up on that show, The Last of Us. And T and I played that video game. So I go back upstairs, and in my mind, I'm going to be erasing that basketball picture of me from high school, and there is a HBO Max where all the different television shows are
the thumbnails, yeah.
Yeah, and it like rotates like this, and it's on what I was just watching, The Last of Us. And it's now changed from that to this, and it took me 4 or 5 minutes just to turn the TV off. I don't know how I'm just like, dude, like touche, like from the heavens. This motherfucker is so much more IT. He's more tech savvy than I'll ever be. So yeah, man, and it's like Tamara and I weren't freaked out. It was just like we were having a bad couple of days together, and it was just almost like, thanks, T. Like, thanks, man. Like that was, if nothing happens again, like that's.
Well, you welcome the visitation, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I remember you telling a story here where when you had a dream.
Yeah.
That was so vivid. You woke up and you were
228.
Like, thank you for.
Yeah, I had it.
Checking in.
And anytime I have one, I had one when he was a child this past week, and we were in the hot tub in our house in Scottsdale, but it was like he was 3, buddy had his vocabulary when he passed. It was like he was a 26-year-old, 3-year-old. And it was, fuck, I woke up, man. I was just, I mean, like I am right now, I was just fucking like, wow. Like that's, you know, and I don't have, you know, my dreams are so mundane. Like I don't have anything chill that ever fucking happens. And it's just like, you know, like I'm one of those guys, like I can probably count on my, I never have sex dreams. You know, it's like, I remember one time, there was a conversation, a bunch of young guys. I don't know, maybe we were in 6th grade, and they were talking about having wet dreams. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I've never had one. They were like, you never had a wet dream? And I remember my brother'd fucking wake up like fucking like a porn star, you know, like fucking somebody had one of those gangbang movies, and he'd fucking be dripping wet up there.
That's because you were cleaning out the gun.
Exactly. As I said, fuck you. If you go to if you start going to the range when you're in fourth grade, chance of fucking a stray round going off at night is pretty fucking rare.
No accidental firings going on. No.
I was like, what happens? But I remember one time, man, I was having a dream, and this lady was fucking, like, she was like endowed breast-wise, she had dark hair, attractive, and she was measuring me for a pair of slacks.
B. Arthur.
Yeah, no, it was fucking, it was like...
Rachel
almost,
Ward.
Remember when fucking I Dream of Jeannie, when she had the twin that had dark hair?
God, you're back to that. That was a source of a lot of boner action for you.
Well,
I don't remember that episode, but I believe
no,
you.
she had a like a, you know, an evil twin. I think Elizabeth Montgomery had one also. Had like the dark-haired fucking Samantha. There she is.
There you go. So she's measuring you for slacks. That's where the other hand is,
and
clearly.
all of a sudden, she fucking slips up, and fucking next thing I know, she's pressing against my fucking hog. And I felt one coming. You know, I'm like, oh shit. And fucking, I woke up, and I was just like, my shit was boned out, and I just fucking gave it a smack. Like, no.
Oh, she smacked it down.
Smack that bitch down.
Down, boy, kind of.
Down. We don't do that shit. So, thank you for fucking that was a great fucking pickup on Barbara Eden there.
Oh, from that episode, yeah. Those of you listening, of course, we have fucking,
yeah, we got the visual. Gosh, she was fucking hot.
That was pretty, and you know what? For the year, what are we talking? Late 60s, right?
Yeah, they couldn't show her navel.
Oh, that's what. Okay, right. So they had like those hip hugger type. Came high on the. I guess it would be the opposite of a hip hugger, hip swallower. But
I told you, I've talked about. I met her when we were playing at the Greensboro Coliseum. I think we were playing Furman in the first round of the tournament in, who was that, 79? It was the first win that Tennessee ever had in the NCAA tournament, and we beat Furman. And I ran into her in the elevator. I was 18 or 19. I was young. I remember she was, you know, Harper Valley PTA, that kind of age. Like, you talking about a fucking MILF. Like, fuck. As Scott would say, snort, slurp. Scott would always say that. I'm going to say, he'd say, fucking, man, what I'd love to do is, there'd be some girl, he'd be like if I can get her on all fours and just fucking snort her ass while I fucking just slurped her box.
That concludes our touching tribute to the passing of Scott Hall, the 1-year anniversary.
Hey, man, we're talking about my boy, man.
Absolutely.
And if anytime somebody bent over, like especially like an overweight woman or something like that, he'd always go. So as time went on, we spent so much time together. I'd be in the car, and some lady be fucking doing gardening in her front yard. I'd be in the car with my wife and my son. I go. My wife would, what? Like, really? Like, yeah. Just
Tama, we're all still 15. You don't get it yet.
It's for Scott.
It's for Scott.
Yes, he was alive. I mean, it was just like fucking. Like anytime we ever saw a hot girl, we didn't have to look at each other and say anything. We didn't have to say, God, she's hot. We just say, snort. If you said snort, then you knew. Fucking snort, slurp.
So stealing that.
That's like all the Scottisms.
Right.
Fucking, like if you fucking start to get BO, you're fucking beefing. Because you smell like a beef hot dog that's been fucking cooking in the fucking water. It's the hot dog water. So fuck, dude, man. If you be overseas, I mean, you get on the elevator in Germany and those motherfuckers, man. Scott be like, oh fuck, these dudes are beefing, man.
Beefing, meat gazing. We have to have a running calculation of things.
World according to fucking Scotty.
World according to Scott. Ask Nash, hashtag Ask Nash. You want to get access to Kevin Nash, this is how you do it. Hashtag Ask Nash. He will address you every week, like Braxton Rasmussen, who says, hey, Kev, what story with Scott do you have about Wichita? I'm from there, and it'd be interesting to hear.
No, that somebody threw a beer off Scott's head, a full beer, and Scott went over the rail, and he turned around, and I was coming over with him, and we got far enough into the crowd where it was just like if this shit goes, it's going to go, and we're going to be highly outnumbered. And we just also decided that maybe that smacking a couple of fans wasn't the best idea with the chance of us being put in jail and losing our jobs and money, and so we just.
Now, how did he know you had a Wichita? Is that a famous story, or you just happened to have one?
I think I brought it up last week. I just think I brought up Wichita, but I didn't say what the story was.
David Van Bogelen, Kevin, aside from Kliq members, who is the best wheelman, and who are your top 5 guys to have in the vehicle for a road trip outside the Kliq?
Jarrett's a good wheelman. Mick's a good wheelman. Steve Borden, Steiner's, Lex is a great wheelman.
Are these guys also good to have in the car for conversation?
Absolutely. The only way you'd know they're a great wheelman is because you'd have to. Rude was horrible. Rude was a horrible wheelman because he'd fucking take his gimmicks and he'd say, "I'll drive until my gimmicks kick in." Then fucking like 6 miles. He'd be
going to say 8 minutes later, you got to drive.
I'd have a joint, he'd have a joint, and there'd be a joint lit in the fucking ashtray. I'd pass him a lit joint, he'd pass me the other one. We're fucking just hot boxing, just.
Gregor Tennant. I'm traveling to New York City on the 20th of March for my 40th. That's when the show is premiering, as a matter of fact. So you're here now, Gregor, or in the air. I want to know what the best places to eat are. Any tips would be greatly appreciated, from sit-down meals to food on the go, as we do the tourist thing. Love the show, banter, and dark humor. Okay. Kev, some New York eateries. I, of course, can offer some as well.
New York?
Yes.
Why the fuck would I know what's happening in New York?
You worked New York? ostensibly 8.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it's since COVID it exists.
Oh, well, maybe not. Right.
It's not like...
All right, so...
you can take this over.
Carmine's?
I mean, if I'm going to pick a steakhouse, you can't go wrong with Smith and Walensky.
Smith and Walensky. Keen's Steakhouse. If you want to try a mutton chop the size of your head, go there.
What was the one that it's Peter
Luger.
Yeah, that was that Scott like Peter Luger
out in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Carmine's Bond 45. I'm a big fan of.
Yeah. That place down there.
Where?
Down here. Hey!
Oh, this is devolving into high school. Let's do another bracket to get things back on track. If you find yourself down in Little Italy, you want to have some fun down there.
Idaho, man.
Joey,
Idaho versus fucking Eastern Oregon, man.
Let's talk about the coach for 11 minutes.
Fuck yeah.
If you find yourself downtown in Little Italy, Joey Paisano's was always my place.
Is that the one that's down? You got to go down the stairs to go to it?
No. And then hit Ferraris for dessert.
Maybe that's in Greenwich. Maybe that was in Greenwich.
It could be in Greenwich Village. Greenwich Village does have a lot of those ones downstairs. Oh, there you go. There's a bunch. Carmine's, Keen's, Bond 45, and definitely Ferraris. Cannolis at Ferraris.
Is the Carnegie Deli closed now?
Yeah, Carnegie and the Stage Deli. Those old comedian haunts. Yeah, fucking gone.
See, that's what I mean. I just haven't been there in so long. Like, I think the last time I spent any time in New York was me and Scott did the Big Apple New York City Comic Con. We stayed at the Marriott Marquis downtown. We took the what are those the little gimmicks?
A subway? No,
the
cab.
The little fucking bicycle gimmicks.
Oh, the rickshaw thing.
Yeah,
with it. Yeah.
It's like call it a fancy cab or whatever they call it. But we had some motherfucker pedal us every day there and back through traffic. And we like, okay, let's go out someplace tonight. And then we go out on this little rooftop thing that was closed, but this guy would let us out there. And Scott and I would go out there and get high. And then we'd just say, fuck it, man, let's just eat downstairs at the restaurant. Every night we ate at the restaurant. They had a great wine list. It was like, fuck it.
Marriott Marquis has that great lobby, because the lobby's on like the 10th floor or whatever. They have that great lobby bar, Sky Bar? I forget what it was called.
Yeah.
But I was just there not too long ago. And then on the top, on the roof, not the roof, the top floor, they have the rotating.
Well, they also had that balcony that overlooks Times Square.
Absolutely.
That outdoor balcony. Yeah. No, to me, the rooms are decent size. Like, you really can't go wrong if you're staying in New York City to stay there, because, I mean, the 42nd, all this, like, there's some easy subway pickups that are within easy walking distance, that are easy subway pickups. Mm-hmm. You know, where it's like you take the one gimmick that goes right out to Staten Island, to the Staten Island ferry. You know, it's just.
Yeah, you're centrally located too.
Yeah.
So whatever you're doing in New York, you're in Times Square.
You can go and see all the 9/11, memorials.
Mm-hmm. Vipin T. F. Marry Kill for Kev and Sean. All right, get ready. Raquel Welch, Sarah Silverman, B. Arthur. Raquel is which? The F, the marry, or the kill?
All.
F for marrier than killer?
Gotcha.
I think Silverman would be a good wife. I think she'd be a lot of fun.
I think Sarah Silverman's cool. I think I'd probably bang Raquel, marry Sarah Silverman, and kill B. Arthur.
I just swapped that last one. I'd probably bang B and maybe get rid of Raquel. Just to be noteworthy. Jordan, hey Kev, Must say I'm loving the podcast. Makes the 50-minute commutes to work on Tuesdays bearable. My question is, have you sampled any wines from New Zealand? If yes, any favorites?
Yes, I have. God, I had a Syrah from there not too long ago. I can't remember the vineyard. It's like when you go overseas and you drink. It's like I went to Cape Town, and I went to this restaurant, and I had read on Wine Enthusiast. I think it was Kevin Arnold was the name of this Shiraz. And I could be wrong, but for some reason that stuck in my head. And like they had me and Scotty Steiner went out to dinner, and they had like the three birds at emu, ostrich, and whatever the other fucking bird is. That was like the plate, and all red meat. And they had a bottle of that Kevin Arnold Shiraz. It was maybe a year old, but it drank like it was 5, 6 years old. It was a great bottle of wine. But
Okay.
yeah, they've, and the crazy thing too is that Australia and New Zealand were so far ahead of going with the screw tops.
Yes. Actually, the first time I think I might have seen it was on a Malbec.
Probably Australian.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was an Australian.
Yeah.
Probably a Shiraz.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the first one I was exposed to. They got popular for a while. What makes a wine like trendy like that?
Like a Shiraz?
Yeah, like it was everywhere for like a minute.
I just think that I think that the grape, for so long, like everything was just French. It was like if it wasn't from the Bordeaux region, it wasn't a red wine. And then, that movie came out that basically said that the
Sideways.
Yeah, no, the other one where it was earlier that basically said the California Reds were equal to the French.
Oh.
And then Sideways made everybody drink Pinot.
Pinot, right?
And I just was never really a huge Pinot fan.
Too light.
I guess. I mean, a Shiraz is like usually around 14.7 and up alcohol content. I like something that's got a little alcohol forward. If I'm gonna drink, there's some 13.5 rosés that are nice to drink in the summertime. But I'm not much of a light.
I get you.
Yeah.
All right, just for review, let's go over the brackets and the results from this week's Jersey Guy versus Florida. Kliq, this is a production of Butch and Sundance Media. I'd like to remind everyone, Producers Association with Podcast E, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, Sean Oliver. Producer is Steve Kaufman. Graphics by Dominic D'Angelo. Title, sequence, and audio edit by Wesley Burleson. Theme song by Dale Oliver. Technical research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2023, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, do you want to do another bracket next week?
Fuck no. But
he'll be here for the show.
But I will take off my headphones and fucking watch the brackets for the optics.
I watched the credits and then I left. And by the way, 2 nights from today, if you're listening on Monday, Wednesday night the 22nd, if you are an ad-free show subscriber, please join us for a live taping. It's always fun to see how this shit goes down. Hell do I know. Try to keep you entertained.
Watch me fight the crew on fucking shortening fucking the bracket. Kidding. I loved it.